All right, the watch list for Tuesday, October 11th. Today was Columbus Day, and you can see, I mean, it doesn't even look like a daily candle. It looks like a little paint splotch or something. This was what happened today. So very, very narrow range, very low volume. It's kind of what we expected. I still was in the range of my daily goals on just a couple early trades, and then I didn't trade at all after the first probably 90 minutes. But the watch list I have for tomorrow right here, MCUR had a really nice move. Was alerted in our chat room by Michael H.A. when it was still $1.70 before that run to 240. It ended up giving back a lot of the gains, but it's a lower float stock, decent volume, nice break out of a range. This one will be on watch for the next several days. All I need is one out of the next several days to give me a low risk intraday setup, and I might be able to get quick 10 or 20% in a few minutes or something like that. So it definitely goes on watch. AUPH. This one's still really extended and kind of squinky here. I mean, it's just got kind of wide ranges for this stock, but I want to watch it. I didn't get any kind of setup in it today, so it just goes back on watch for tomorrow. LPCN inside today, or I should say an inside day on inside of Friday's range. It did gap up a little bit and a nice narrow candle. So, I mean, I really like this over today's high, which would be over 575. We might be able to catch a different entry and may get no entry at all. Depends on how it trades. COTY, just 3 days in a row, straight down into recent lows. It did take out those recent lows, but to me, it's still extended to the downside in the very short term. And remember, I'm a day trader. I'm just looking to make some money on one or a few of these if they set up for me tomorrow. I'm in cash every night. So I do, anytime something makes like a 3-day move to take out recent lows, I usually look for a snapback the next day. If I get a proper setup, I can catch a bounce in COTY tomorrow. Bristol Myers, BMY. I want to have one stock. I try to have one stock every day that's just really beaten up. And this thing gapped down from, almost 56 at one point on Friday. Gapped down today and closed at below 50. This is just a name that's really beaten up. And I'm kind of expecting maybe a bounce one day this week. I don't want people to look at this video and think, oh, he's bullish on this chart. No, I'm not. I'm looking for a bounce maybe tomorrow. And again, only with a proper intraday setup. You never know. If I get the right setup, I could just trade one trade in BMY tomorrow and get my daily goal. And there's a good chance I won't trade it at all. So we'll see what happens. CRMD had a nice 2-day run. Now 3 red days, but starting to catch some buyers down here in the 280 area. A couple bottoming tails. Potential long tomorrow on that one. KTOV. Pretty handsome chart here. This thing spiked up, came back down, then retested and actually broke this high from the spike up day. Briefly before closing red. Next thing you know, 2 days lower, it's right back up at these recent highs. I like this setup. Today's high was 414. Over that, you look to the left, you say if it gets through 414, it might take out this 424 high and maybe squeeze. It's a nice low float stock and really showing nice relative strength lately. So KTOV goes on watch. VCEL, you have to kind of zoom in to get that big volume spike out, and then you can kind of see the relative volume lately. And kind of like that KTOV I just showed you. You've got today's high. If it gets over that, it might take out this recent high. Worth watching. VCEL, a couple more. SAEX, nice volume spike today. And if you zoom in, and let's get that crazy move from, what was this move? From $10 to over 75 or around 75 to right at 75 in 2 sessions. Yes, that really happened because it's a low float stock. Then you had a move back September 22nd and 23rd. The range was 632 to 1080. Again, huge range, and it's really kind of tapered off and done nothing. All of a sudden, a volume spike again. This one's interesting. I don't have a trigger price for you, but put it on watch. Today, it went from 765 to 939. They were on this in the chat room, and some people were making money on this one. I did not trade it, but definitely going to watch it for a follow through tomorrow. Lastly, I have a really obscure one here, CCCL. Okay, it had this big move back here from 322 to 607, and then, nothing since. But then about, a couple weeks ago, gapped up and went to 393, came back down, and now you had a little bit of a pop on Friday that had a high of 313. Today, an inside day with a high of 311. So I like this over 311. Should get it through 313. And maybe because it's coming off support now for the last week, this one might be, the logical move might be up from here. So again, notice that today it only traded 127,000 here. So it's a lightly traded stock, and I probably won't get a trade in it tomorrow. But if volume shows up, it might light up my scanner, and maybe I will catch a trade in this one. So that's it. We're going to watch for gappers in the morning as well. And real quick, I'll highlight one call today from Oki because he's such a good oil player. Plays the oil stocks, long, short, all day long. Super good at it. And that's the one I chose to put on the highlights page today. I usually try to choose one or two each day. I don't spend my evenings going over all the great calls and populating my results table. Could probably get a lot more customers if I do that. I just really, honestly, I want my evenings to find stocks for the next day and to actually enjoy my life a little bit. So I do want to highlight this one by Oki, though. He called this on a short. He's really good at fading moves on a short below this candle, right? So the idea was 42.13 and the stop 42.34, so only 20 cents risk, and it ended up going down over $1 from there. He's really good at these oil plays. So every once in a while, I like to give him a little shout out and brag about how good he is. So, all right, I'm going to quit babbling, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.